Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in the decrease key thing, yeah, what you're saying is how do we find the node to decrease, right?
Yes, yes, sir. So how would that
That,
still be an overlogin function, basically?
yeah. So because we said that each of the decrease key, yeah, operations took log n time, but how do you find this node, right? Because we have the tree, right? We don't have this particular node, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, that is a problem actually. So I was hoping someone would find it out, right? So yeah, it's good that at least you have yeah. So so the yeah problem is again because we are sort of putting these vertices in the tree, and we have the tree data structure, right? And we don't have yeah, any information as to where these vertices are sitting, right? And when we are decreasing the key, we need to know exactly where that vertex is, right? So we can't go and check every sort of yeah, every storage space or every element in the array to check where it is, right? So yeah, any sort of ideas for this?
So like we can map the value, like we'll know like for every node we can like just in a map we can store the position it has been inserted to in the array. Like
Okay,
since
so what you are saying is you are sort of yeah, using another data structure which is another array to map this, is it?
yeah, like that.
Yeah, you so what Aditya said is yes, another array, right, which is sort of indexed by vertices, say v1, v2, so on till vn, and here basically he stores the indexes, right? So this might be some say a of yeah, some I1, a of I2, right? We don't even need to store a. Basically it is there in I1 position, I2 position, so on and so forth. Okay, so sort of a hash function, right? So sort of once you sort of need to know in which position it is, you simply go to this array and see what the position of this vertex is, right? And then go to that position, and once you go to that position, then you can access the child or parents very easily, right? So is that fine?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good. That I was hoping that someone would ask yesterday. Probably we were, yeah, we did this towards the end, right? Yeah, so at least good that, yeah, you guys are thinking about it, and yeah, yeah, after the class, I was hoping that, yeah, so this was not told. Yeah, it was good that, yeah, the question came from you guys. Nice. So yeah, these are all the little things we need to worry about. I mean, otherwise, yeah, the claims about running time and other things are not will not go through, right? This might be little tricks, but they are needed for the whole thing to work out. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, till now we have seen sort of single source shortest paths with respect to unweighted say graphs, right? Which is using BFS, and weighted graphs, if the weights are integers and small weights, right? Then you sort of subdivide the edges of the graph, and you can still use a breadth first search, right? If the weights are positive reals, then you will be able to use Dijkstra's algorithm, which is the fastest one. We used a variant of yeah, breadth first search also, which gave order of mn algorithm, but Dijkstra's is much faster. Okay, now we will come to probably the last case where we want to find single source shortest paths when there are negative weights. Okay, there are negative weights, and probably you can also assume that yeah, as of now you can assume that there are no negative weight cycles. If there are negative weight cycles reachable from the source, then yeah, you will not even be able to find any path, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So can we use Dijkstra's for this also?
No, we can't. Because Dijkstra's, like, if we find the shortest one, it'll keep it as shortest immediately. It won't like check it again.
What does that mean? Can you elaborate it?
Sir, I can give
Where
like a
does it work?
counter. I can give a counter example. Like, you draw triangle kind of graph,
So
ABC.
you want to give a counter example? Okay. Yeah. So we can yeah, sort of analyze through a counter example. Okay. Yeah.
ABC, like,
Yeah. Hmm.
A to B and A to C are like 2 and 2, and B to C is -3.
Okay. Okay. Now what does Dijkstra's do here? Dijkstra's will see that yeah, you start from A. A is the source, right? It will choose one of B or C, right, as the shortest one, right? And it is set, right? It is set to 2, right? So something like this, it will be set to 2. Then in the next iteration, right, all edges on B, you will update using those edges. For C, it will see that it is -1, right, and it will sort of yeah, use the sets. This is how the shortest path tree, if we use Dijkstra's, look, right? But is this the right one? So now the distance to B, what will be the distance to B? It is 2, and distance to C is basically -1, right? So are these distances correct?
No.
No.
So distance of B can be -1.
Yeah, distance of B can be -1. You can go from A to C and then to B, right? So you can it can sort of you can go using sort of this path, right? And this would be -1, right? So in that sense, yeah, using Dijkstra's this way is not correct, right? So
So
this
it'll
also says,
also
yeah,
so it'll also lead into an infinite loop, sir, because the weights will keep decreasing as we keep updating. Like first, distance of C will become -1. So since it's updated, distance to B will again become -4, and then it'll keep decreasing.
why? No, not
Because
necessarily, right? This is yeah,
okay,
you distance to, how did you get distance to B as -1?
we distance of B as -1. We went to C,
Yeah,
which was
so
2
you need to
initially.
store that. Yeah, you can't sort of use the same edge to decrease as much as you want, right? So that is the yeah, sort of at least I would say sanity check we need to have, right? You won't sort of decrease it along the same yeah, edge which you are again using for the shortest path, right? But yeah, what Alan said is a very important thing. We will come across yeah, we will come to this sort of a yeah, problem even in when we deal with shortest paths with negative weights. Okay.
So, but in the algorithm, we are not taking care of that path from which we came from. By default,
Yeah,
since the weights are positive, it can't be updated as a shorter path by going back within the same path. But since it's
exactly.
negative weight, if we can go back in the Dijkstra's algorithm.
Dijkstra's algorithm. Yeah. Anyway, Dijkstra's algorithm will not work for this, right? That is anyway clear, right? We will not be able to, yeah, sort of update using Dijkstra's algorithm. Okay, nice. So yeah, now is there yeah, so this is one reason. Also notice that the shortest path is doesn't the vertex that is nearest to the source, right? The distance will not be updated just in the neighborhood of the set S which we are trying to find, right? So in more generality, this was S, right? We said that in the neighborhood of S, the next vertex would be there. That is not a necessity because there could be vertices like this. This could have some weight, say 5. This could have some weight minus 20, right? This would be the shortest, right? So when we were using Dijkstra's, we said that edge weights were positive, and this situation can never happen. We should take this first rather than this, right? That would be the vertex, which is shorter to the source, right? So which sort of creates a lot of the algorithm does not work correctly, right? In Dijkstra's, Dijkstra's will not work in this situation. But what do we do then? Any ideas? Can we sort of implement this in a different way?
So like the initial BFS algorithm we were discussing, like isn't
For
that
weights.
fine? Yeah, isn't that no? The one Mudit gave, like we modified.
Yeah,
Isn't
that was with weights, right? Yeah, BFS algorithm with weights. Yeah.
That will work for negative also, right? Because we are always checking.
And we basically we were doing BFS, and if the vertex is already there in the queue, you will not update. You will not again queue it, right? You will just update it with that
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. So that sort of a tweak we could do, right? So you sort of keep updating every vertex, and if it is updated, so you need to put back in the queue. If it is already there in the queue, you will not sort of put it, right? Now, okay.
Sir, I don't think so that will work. Like,
I don't think that will work. Mudit himself has a doubt. Yeah, why? Why doesn't it work?
Suppose like S2A, S2B, and S2C. Can you draw this graph?
Yes, to A. Yeah.
S2B.
Yes. B. Yes to C.
S2C. And the weights are suppose minus 10, 10, 20. Let us assume. So first S is there in the queue, then it will check ABC weights and then add ABC to the queue and S will go out. Now while check A, now the weight of S will be now minus 20. Like we were checking S also before. So now the weight of S is minus 20 and this is an infinite loop. It will go on.
Okay. So the weight of S is minus 20 and this will go on in an infinite loop. Yeah. Now what do we do here?
So we can push the vertex which is already discovered and set correctly to some list or something, and we can search. If it is already set, then we need not update it again and again to prevent the infinite loop.
But how do we know that it is already set correctly?
So can we like impose a pseudo weight on every edge? And so that make all the negatives positive, then do it, and then just subtract the difference.
Oh, you want to add some weight such that everything becomes positive, is it?
Yeah. And at the end, when you do the normal algorithm, just subtract.
Normal Dijkstra's. Dijkstra's also will work, right?
Yes.
That is faster.
So we can also flag the indices with some numbers, like the levels.
1 minute.
So that we
one at a time. So one of the ideas is add a sort of large positive weight. to all edges such that edge weights are positive. Then run Dijkstra's. Right. So this is yeah, one idea of Meir. So yeah, can we do this?
So I don't think that'll work. Like with the initial triangle example itself, it'll just never end up choosing the negative weight edge.
So 1 minute. So it was 2, 2 minus 3, right? So okay, yeah, Shreya, tell me now.
Yeah,
Now
so
you
suppose
add
you
some
add
weight
like
to-
5 to each edge and it becomes
you add
772.
772. Yeah.
Yeah, so the shortest paths it would choose would be A to B and A to C, but that's wrong.
Okay. So the shortest path it would choose would be A to B and A to C, which is wrong, right? It should have been A to B via C and A to C via B, right? So yeah, adding this this does not work, right? So if you simply add it and you will not get the right shortest paths. That's wonderful, Shreya. Okay. So this is not the right way of doing, right? This doesn't work. Okay, once there are negative weights. Cool. Okay, can we do anything?
So we can we can assign the levels to the vertices so that we can prevent the cycles. What Mudit said is we move from S to A then again to S. That is forming a cycle. So to avoid cycles, we can check for levels. If it is going from a lower level to again at a higher level, at a higher from a higher level to again at a lower level, then we are just moving in a cycle only. We can do that to prevent it.
So, but how do we decide the levels?
How do we decide the levels, right? Because we don't even know, right? I mean, you can't just simply see. You should not think this happens only with the source, right? Happening only with the source is probably much more easy to handle, right? This vertex x can be somewhere down in the graph, right? Somewhere in the middle of the iterations, right? There, this sort of a thing can happen, and that will create a problem, right? Now, how do we handle this?
Sir, sir, if we take any vertex and we will traverse to that vertex, right? We make sure that there will not be any repeated vertex on that path.
Okay, how do we make sure that there is no repeated vertex on that path?
Since there are no cycles, negative weight cycles, then the optimum path won't be in a cycle, right? Otherwise, if it's a cycle with negative total sum as negative, then go into a negative cycle if we choose that negative like cycle. But if it's positive, it won't be the correct path because you keep adding positive weights like all the way through the cycle. So you would rather just not take the cycle.
Okay, so what Mastanaya and Lana saying is that, so if there is a shortest path from S to U, right? So suppose consider it as a shortest walk from S to U, right? So what they are claiming is that the shortest walk is always a path. So am I right, Mastanaya and Alan? Is this what you are trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it should be.
Yeah. So is that true? Is shortest path always a walk? Sorry, shortest walk always a path? Is this true?
Yes, sir. I mean, because we're already saying that there are no negative weight cycles, so going through a cycle would not in any way decrease the
Yeah.
weight of
Yeah.
the
What
walk,
happens if
right?
there is a cycle here?
So this will be a positive weighted cycle, and at the very least, if there is like if it is the weight of this cycle is say epsilon or something, this the
Or
now the
zero.
weight
It
of
can be zero, right?
it can
It
be
can even
zero
be zero.
also. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then there would be no change to the. Okay, then I guess if it is zero, then it wouldn't really matter if you take it or not.
Yeah, correct. If it is zero, it doesn't matter if you take it or not, right? So, and why do you even, yeah, once you take the shortest weighted path, you also assume that it has least number of edges, right? Then, yeah, the cycle weight can be zero and you don't even have to take the cycle, right? If we somehow make sure that putting epsilon such that there are not even every cycle is as positive weight, right? Then this case would not even arise, right? Good. That is anyway true. Okay. So how does this help?
So like I was thinking like Ufa what Mudit said. Basically the cases that's like a single edge negative cycle, right? No. So like if we could just store like the previous like for A if we can like store what updated it, like S updated it. And then when we are popping A out from the queue, we make sure we don't update S again. Only S, nothing else. Like just the previous one we don't update again.
Okay, okay. That is, will that work? So just let me write so that, yeah, so. So maybe, yeah, BFS strategy, right? So here what is saying is update.
Sir,
Only,
again with the triangle example, that won't work, right?
1 minute. Update only
Okay.
those neighbors which are not in which update only those neighbors which are not the neighbor of the vertex.
So not neighbor, sir. Like the previous update vertex, the one that updated it previously, like the one because of which it's in the queue.
That will be in the shortest path, right? Neighbor of the vertex in shortest path. I thought, isn't this what you said? Shortest path.
No, like
only those neighbors say of you, path from S to U. So this is not what you said.
Not all the neighbors, like just the previous one, just the immediate, like
No.
latest one.
We are only updating all those neighbors, right? Which are not, right? The neighbor. There is only one neighbor, right? So there is a shortest path, right? From S to U, right? This was the last one which was probably updated, right? You will not update X again using this edge, right?
Yeah, okay, like that. Yeah, fine.
Okay, so should we sort of rephrase it a bit differently? Yeah, maybe. Let me write it. Let U be the vertex that is being processed. Let X be a neighbor of U in the shortest path. from S to U as of now, right? So shortest path from S to U, not shortest path, yeah, neighbor in the say present shortest path from S to U. Update all other neighbors except X, right? So is this what you said, Aditya?
Yeah, like that.
Or is there something different? So
no,
we need
no,
to.
No, like this is it.
Okay. Yeah, someone had a counter for this. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So if we take this triangle example that's given here with the 2,
Correct.
2, -3,
Mm.
so A will be initially 0, and if we explore B first, B will get 2, but we will not explore A again because that's what updated it. So we will explore
Correct.
C from B. C will get -1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to explore B, but when we try to explore A again, C is -1 and then +2 would be 1. But that wouldn't update A, right? Because A is already 0. And so A would not be explored again.
Yeah, A would not be explored again, which is.
And then you won't find the right path for B.
Yeah, which is good, right? That is correct, right?
Yes, sir. But then you
Yes.
won't find the optimal path for B because B is the path from A to B is 2.
Okay. So it was 2 here and it was -3 like this, right? So you won't explore this again.
We won't explore A to B via C again.
Sir, the algorithm doesn't work like this, right? The first in the queue was B and C, and then again C will come.
Correct.
Like make a queue first, and then if we perform the algorithm, it will be better.
Yeah.
But the parent of C was B, na, so B won't be checked. Like again the negative, or it will be assigned a weight of -4.
See, how will the queue look? So first it will be A, right? Then we will sort of remove A, right? So it will be like this. Then we will remove this and we will put say B and C, right? Now we will take out B, right? And we will update C, right? So we will update C, right? And yeah, what happens now? So we will take out B and we will update C to -1, right? And then when we are processing C, right, it is -1 and yeah, we will not try to update B, right? Because it is the shortest path is coming via B. So what Nishant said is correct, right?
So didn't we assume that there are no negative weight cycles?
Yeah, there is no negative weight cycle here, right?
No, negative weight cycle means all edges has to need to have negative weight or just any edge.
Any edge is okay as long as
So
it
2
is a
to
cycle.
-3 is forming a negative edge weight cycle.
Sum of the edges of weights.
Yeah, you need to sum up all the edges, right?
Okay, sorry.
There is only one cycle here. It is positive weight. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, suppose we updated like from B to C, then C's value would go to what? It will be -4 then, right? It wouldn't be -1. So
yeah, that's what.
that is. Even if you update, like, it will be wrong. Like.
Yeah, correct. It never sort of yeah updates it, right? So what happened with this? Okay. So this yeah that becomes a problem, right? So yeah, how do we take care of this?
So the proof
if we
of
do this, it
correctness
is wrong.
the proof correctness
No,
for
the
this
proof.
algorithm is shortest path property, right? It uses shortest path property.
Correct.
And it's not true for if there are negative edges.
So once there are negative edges, shortest path property is not true, is it?
Yes, sir. Like even in this example, A, B, C, A, B is not shortest path in there.
Okay. Right. So yeah. So now Chaitanya comes up with a observation saying that, see, the whole proof of this, whatever we did, right, with respect to this BFS strategy, it used the fact that it used shortest path property. That so shortest path contains shortest subpaths, right? Optimal paths contain optimal subpaths. That is not at all true when we have this negative weights, right? For example, here, right, when the weights are negative, you will what will we have? We will have the shortest paths here, right, are basically ACB and BC, ABC and ACB, right? So this doesn't work out, right? So the A to B path there is not the shortest, right? That itself is not true. Okay, that's good. So now what do we do? Is this a problem?
So like a very naive algorithm. So we target a specific vertex and then we backtrack, like we search that how it reaches the source, like only one vertex at a time. First we search B, how is it reaching the source, and we select the shortest path, and then we just keep it separate, like the pointer of B, like -1 is kept separate. It is not given to B, like, and then we search for C, like all vertices separate. We keep searching all the paths, like from when we select C, how is it reaching A, and then we take the minimum. Like, sir, that the time complexity will be very bad, but sir, it will work.
Come again. What is your idea?
Like, sir, we select a vertex B, and then we search for all the possible paths that can reach A, and so then we can choose the minimum
You
out of it.
select a vertex B and you check
Search for
all
all
the
the paths
possible paths.
that reach the source, and once it reaches the source, we keep updating that distance, and then this way we keep on selecting one vertex at a time and keep on searching, like till it reaches the A. Like for each vertex the algorithm runs differently, same process for all the vertices. Like it's a very naive algorithm, so we can improve on it.
But is it like trying different permutations, or is there a way to find all these paths?
Like from when we start from B, then we first see that there is a cycle, that a path that is a weight of weight 2 that reaches A, then we see -3 and +2, so it will become -1 for B.
Yeah.
And
Basically,
then
as
separate.
Alan said, are you trying out all permutations?
Yeah, so from B to A, like all the paths, I'm searching for all the paths. Like they can be
Basically
searched together.
They can be searched together, is it? How?
Like, sir, from B to C, we get a path of -3. Okay, not together, sir. Like we have to search for all the paths.
Yeah.
All
So
permutations.
That is permutations, right? We need something better than that, right? So can we do anything here so that we don't include this edge multiple times in the path?
So one thing which we'll be sure of is the source won't be added again, right? But for other vertices, if we are looking into an algorithm, they might be updated again. We can't say for sure that once it's processed, it won't be updated again. So it might come back into the heap if at all we are using a heap. But for the source, we are sure that it won't come again. Otherwise, there'll be a cycle. So that's a starting point, I guess. Like we know that source won't be added again, but the other vertices may or may not be processed, like updated.
So I had a doubt, like over here, uh, like when we are saying anything is a negative edge, like we are basically exploiting the fact that it's a negative one edge cycle. That's why all the
all this problem is happening because of that.
That's like not.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are trying to go from A to say B to C and C to B using the same edge, right? So is that what you are trying to say?
Yeah, but another thing is like we can just keep exploiting that to reduce the distance also, right? Like actually we can make it more than -1 also.
Then it's not a path. If we keep using the same edge, it won't be a path anymore.
No, that's the same case. That's the same case for negative edge cycle also, right? We use the cycle again. We again visit a point again, so that's fine. It'll be a walk, right?
So can we say that if we are reaching a vertex that we have visited before in the path and the distance updated is lesser than the previous distance that is assigned to it, then we are reaching it through a negative cycle, but it is never possible.
Yeah. How is that negative cycle? Yeah, obtained, right?
So we can draw a path from S to U, and suppose we visit X again, which was already in the path from S to U, and we are updating the distance of X. That means there is a negative weight in the cycle.
There can be a negative weight in the cycle. The whole cycle shouldn't be negative. The weight of the whole cycle, right? So when we say the weight of the cycle, it is the sum of weights of all the edges in the cycle, right?
So, but even if there is a negative cycle, can we go on the same edge again and again and again?
No, I mean, any path we know that it should not contain the same edge again and again, right?
So even if there is a negative cycle, we can't actually traverse the cycle again and again to reduce the weight.
Yeah, that is the shortest path itself is not defined that way, right? Distance is not defined that way, right? So when there are negative cycles, or if you use using an edge multiple times in the same path, is again you are considering it as a walk, right? So which is not correct, right? Which you are using it as a cycle, right? So yeah, in that sense, no edge should be used more than once, right?
So, but if we use the definition of shortest path, that means every edge comes only once. So, if we use that definition, then can we have shortest paths even in graphs that have negative cycles? Because say we're allowed to use all the edges only once, because by definition we can't use it multiple times.
Yeah, the thing
because
is,
then there exists a shortest path, right?
Yeah, there
exists a
the way we
shortest
sort
path
of define it is, the way we define distance is basically going from one vertex to another vertex using the least amount of resources, right? If there is a negative cycle and if you go around it and if it decreases, then that is how we define shortest paths with respect to weights, at least, right? When weights come into the picture, so what is the cheapest way of going from one place to another, one vertex to another vertex using this network, right? So if there is a negative weight cycle, you keep on going around it, right?
So in that case, the shortest path, the length of the shortest path will be defined, but the distance will be in negative infinity. So
yeah,
there can be a shortest path, but like in all our cases, we are like assuming the length of the shortest path is equal to the distance of the vertex. But if there's a negative cycle, that won't be equal.
Okay, yeah. No, one more thing. Yeah, this is a problem, right? This is indeed a problem, and yeah, is there a way to overcome this?
Because by what you just said, then we can use the edge BC here, like how I think Aditya was saying, multiple times, and just again
Yeah,
make it negative infinity here.
correct. So we should be careful that we should not use this again. But what if the graph is directed? Then can be, then will the algorithm, whatever you said, will it go through? Suppose the graph is directed.
Yes, so then we couldn't go back and forth, right? Unless there was actually a cycle, like
Yeah.
unless there
So
was an edge from B to C and C to A.
Yeah, so like actually if you visualize this as a directed graph, then this has a negative cycle rate. So which kind of proves that you can't make it.
Exactly. So as Aditya was telling before also, right? So if you visualize this as an directed graph, basically you put it just in both directions, right? With the same weight, right? This would be a sort of negative cycle, right? So which is sort of forbidden from the graph, right? So yeah. So yeah, if it is a directed graph, then anyway it will sort of go through, right? We will always be able to do this. So in a directed graph, yeah, should it be a directed cycle, which is negative? So we have a directed path from S to U. Now suppose you are, yeah. Yeah, how do we prove that this works?
So I didn't understand the purpose of like introducing directions in like two directions and making it a directed graph.
No. The thing is just this. I am just curious if the algorithm works in directed graphs. See, shortest distances can be. See, everything we have done till now can also be is also true with directed graphs, right? Though I have not gone into it, right? In DFS, yeah, we went to directed graphs and we argued. The same thing is true even for BFS, Dijkstra's, everything, right? So all these things work with directions also, right? And Dijkstra's again will again not work with directions when there are negative weights, right? Because the way we are picking it is still wrong, right? Suppose, yeah, we have come to this algorithm. Suppose the graph given to you is directed, right? So how do you convert a undirected graph to directed graph? So what does an edge mean in a directed graph? You can go from A to B and B to C, right? So that is the meaning of an edge AB, right? So which means that if you want to convert it into a directed graph, you put two edges from A to B and B to A to B and B to A, right? And give it the same weight, right? Which means that you can go from here to there and there to here, right? So that is what we mean by a directed graph, right? So otherwise it can either be any so if this is one way of converting a undirected graph to a directed graph, okay? Now to work with it. So that is what Aditya is doing, right? So in case of if you want to make undirected graph to a directed graph, this is what you can do. Okay, yeah. So will this work if the graph is directed and there are no directed negative cycles?
So it won't make a difference, right? because we are the same facility, like it can still travel the same way with the same weights. Like if there's a negative
Yeah,
cycle,
there is, since there is a negative cycle, we are not even defining the algorithm for such graphs.
Sir, I think that using directions, we can like we need to take care of the path. Like suppose I think what Alan is trying to speak is like if we just make an undirected graph directed by giving direction to both sides, then we also have to maintain which direction is already done. So we can also do that without making the graph directed. Every shortest path we encounter, we actually like we maintain the set of vertices of our priority queue of vertices which are in that shortest path for that vertex, and then we do a binary search. Like in this case, we when we gave a counter example for ABC, like I mean like suppose like like at first C and B gets updated to distance 2. Then suppose first C gets processed and the distance of B is updated. Now when we when when B is processed, the vertices in its path are ACB, which if we use as numbers, they can be sorted. And like when we start processing B, we see if B is present in the path of C or not. So if binary search returns false, like B is not already in the path of A to C, and if we add the edge B to C to the path and we get a better path, then we add B, else we won't.
Yeah, that is the only no, I want to just see if there is some instance where it works, where there are still negative weights. Converting a sort of undirected graph to a directed graph is a sort of a bad idea, in the sense that suppose there is a negative edge, it always becomes a negative weighted cycle, right? So for such instances, you will not even get the algorithm.
So
right?
So we just need to check that we can always keep track of the previous edge, right? I mean, previous vertex. So we just say once you update it in one direction, you can't just update in the other direction. That's it, right? So we need not.
But that has a problem for this case also, right? Like that's what Nishant is saying.
So we can pick one vertex in the graph instead of selecting the edge with the smallest weight at the least distance. We can check the paths. For example, from A, I have two paths, A to C and A, B, C. I will calculate the total distance of both the paths, and I'll compare which path has the shortest weight, and I'll choose that. So I can check that for all other vertices.
Again, are you checking for every path?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that algorithm is correct. That is what Rajat was also trying to say. The only problem with that algorithm is that you are you need to check for every path. Maybe it might take n factorial time, right? The algorithm is correct, right?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Sir, instead of every path, we can take the paths which contain negative edges, sir.
That doesn't work because we don't know the length it would require to reach the source. Like this here B to C is -3, but there can be many edges that lead to C to A. It is in this graph that there are only 3 vertices. So if we keep on taking the least,
once the graph is bigger, there can be innumerable paths, right? We need to consider all of them before we
Sir, I have this doubt, sir. Sir, when there is a negative cycle, then we are saying that we will keep on looping through that cycle. So there is no minimum distance defined. Sir, how is the minimum distance defined in this graph, in an undirected graph with a negative edge? Like, sir, suppose we are
here we defined it, right? So from going from A to B,
that's my problem, sir. Like, see, A to C was 3. So, sir, in the final graph, C will be having a distance of 0 and B will be having a distance of -1.
Correct.
So, but sir, if now we see logically, if two vertices are connected by a negative edge, like sir, any edge, and one is 0 and other is -1, so like logic says that we can go from C to B. It has -1 and we can reach B. So it should be -3. So the distance should become less. So sir, the minimum distance is not defined. Why are we saying that we cannot use an edge twice when there is a undirected graph, but we are saying that in the negative cycle we are saying that we can use edges twice, but in this graph we are saying that we cannot use the edge twice.
No, even in the directed graph we are not using.
The directed graph will work because we can say that between two edges like C to B and B to C there won't be a negative cycle in the two vertices C. But sir, in this graph, sir, there is a cycle. So this is a negative cycle only in the undirected sense. Unless C and B
because
get the same distance.
No, because we are not using the edge more than once. You are not going through that edge. See, we are again looking for
Sir,
path.
that's the problem, no, sir. Sir, in the negative cycle, sir, we are saying that we can use the edges twice or thrice or any time. We can keep on looping.
Yeah.
But here we are saying that we can use the edge only once. Sir, but how does that work, sir? That contradicts the negative cycle part.
Yeah, no, the only issue there is that, we are sort of not able to sort of say when this, see, it is not a problem. It is not about going through that cycle again and again. The thing is, we don't know when we will go through it again and again, right? So it is not as if we have a cycle, right? It is not like we have a cycle, we can go through it once and we see for some path we can always do this, right? We will go through this cycle only once. If you are cycling this once, just like Anirudh said, we will get out of it and we will reach somewhere here, right? And when we are finding some other path, right, from somewhere else, then again this will use this again and it will go and it will sort of come here, right? That will negate the distance for this, right? So yeah, I mean, when we do this thing, are we sort of when we use multiple paths? So are we trying to go through the cycle again and again, right? But yeah, what you say, just like whatever doubt.
Sir, according to me, sir, this minimum distance property with negative distances should only be defined in directed graphs. Like it shouldn't be in undirected graphs.
That is one way of looking at it, right? So yeah.
So what I will is, it is not actually possible to devise algorithm faster than n factorial here, because there would be infinite number of paths from source to that vertex, and if only one of that vertex contains a weight, suppose way lesser than many other paths, and
so that's correct. So yeah, now I would like to sort of summarize what you guys said. So the thing was this, right? So yeah, this is something what basically I wanted to discuss. So suppose there is undirected graph, right, which has negative weights. How do we define shortest paths, right? Can shortest paths be defined correctly there, right? One thing that everyone is agreeing is that suppose there are negative weights, right? So, and the graph is directed without any negative weighted cycle, it will work, right? So graph is directed with no negative weight cycle. So in this case, will the same algorithm work? Whatever we saw?
Yes, sir. The BFS schedule.
Yes.
So this will work, right?
Yes, sir.
So okay, good. So
sir, I have doubts.
Why? How do we prove this? Yeah. Yes.
Sir, from A to C, we got the shortest path as A to B and B to C. So we got it as -1. So when again we go to B and come to C, will that distance will be much lesser, no sir? So
Exactly. That is what we are trying to say. We can't define shortest path that way, right? In undirected graph. Your doubt is correct, right? So you can keep on moving from BC. You can keep on using this edge BC innumerable times to keep on reducing the length of the path, right? Good. So yeah. So how do we prove this? So why does this algorithm work when there are when the graph is directed with no negative weights?
There's no negative weight. So in this example only, there's a path from C to B with -3, and if there must be a path from B to C, it must be greater than 3, like or else it will be negative weight.
Yeah. So no, the thing is we can't prove by examples, right? So at least Chaitanya said that when we are proving the algorithm, the BFS algorithm, right? We had used the shortest path property, right? So here, the shortest path property, will it be true again? Suppose the graph is directed and without any negative weights?
No, sir.
No?
So without
Like sir,
any negative,
again, sir, the previous argument, the minimum, like the one of the vertices have to be minimum in the queue.
No, that was Dijkstra's. We are not talking about
Yes, sir,
Dijkstra's.
I'm building upon that, sir. Like in this graph, there are no negative weighted cycles. So like if there are two vertices with the same weight, and they are least, then at least one of them should be like the correct distance, because we cannot cycle back to it using the remaining vertices, like so something like that.
So you are
One of
saying
them
that
has
the
to be the
minimum
least.
Dijkstra's algorithm will still work?
So not exactly the Dijkstra's algorithm, but sir, something similar to that.
What change did you make? I didn't see.
Sir, like in Dijkstra's algorithm, like sir, if two vertices in the queue have the minimum and they are the same, then they both we have said that both of them are minimum
candidates.
We cannot
Yeah.
improve them. But in this graph, sir, only one of them we can say that it is minimum. Like at least one, like only one.
Okay, then
And
how
we have
do
to
you
choose among
pick
them.
that? How do you choose that vertex? We don't even know, right?
Yes, sir, that we have to find out, sir.
Yeah, okay.
But one of them will be
so,
minimum, sir.
so does everyone agree that shortest path property, does it work even in terms of negative weights? Suppose there is a path from say S to U, right? Then if you take any two different vertices X and Y on this path, so the path here, will it be shortest again?
yes, sir. If there is no negative weight cycle, then yes.
No, there is no negative weight cycle. So suppose assume that this is again directed. Yeah, why is this true?
So it can't be true, right? Because negative weights completely changes the properties. Like if you have
Like it
S
won't
to
change
X,
that much. Like if there was some other path to reach S to S X, then that would be in this path from S to U, not this path. So it won't change that fact.
So
if there are no negative weighted cycles.
Yeah,
like
suppose
we
there
can
is
just say
another
by contradiction.
So
yeah, how do we prove by
So we can
contradiction?
take
Suppose
that
there is
2
an
minus 3
another path.
example. So we can take that 2 minus 3 2 cycle directed.
Directed, is it?
Yeah.
Here it is easy. What directions do you want?
So in a clockwise.
Clockwise. Okay. Yeah. So this was 2, 2 minus 3. Yeah. Now shortest distances are different.
Here A to C, the shortest distance is from ABC, which is -1.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But with B we can find a shorter distance, no?
Where is the short?
Already short.
It is already shorter. It is 2 only. A to B is always 2. There is nothing lesser than 2.
Yeah.
Right. Now, yeah, is this true? Yeah, Chaitanya, you were having some doubts with respect to shortest path property. Will this work? in directed graphs without no negative cycles? Let us try to prove it. I mean, if yeah, how did we prove the earlier thing? So we have not proven it yet, but
So
yeah,
we can
we are
assume
trying to
by
come up with
contradiction. Like assume
yeah,
there's a shorter
we
path
can
from
assume
S
by
to X.
contradiction that yeah, x to y, right? Suppose there is a different shortest path from x to y. As of now, let me take it to be edge disjoint. We will sort of make it consider other cases later, right? I think this should be the easiest case. Now is this fine? Right? Suppose the other path, shorter path is somewhat like this. Then what do we do? So we replace this path by this path, right? We take out this white path, we delete, and we take this path, and this will be the shorter, right? Path from S to U, which is a contradiction, right? So this is the easiest case. I mean, yeah. Problematic cases are not always these things, right? So once it is, yeah, what if the shortest path from X to Y sort of goes somewhere here and comes back like this?
So then a negative weighted cycle will be created between this Y to this loop. Always.
There will be
Like
a
sir, if
negative
it is
weighted created.
yes, sir.
How?
So let us mark this vertex like after Y the vertex as something X, like not X, like sir any random this variable Z.
This
Let us say
vertex,
it is
right?
Z.
This
Yes
vertex?
sir. Yes sir.
Z. Okay.
So sir, X to Z has to be minimum according to our sir.
Assumption.
What do we say?
Oh, okay.
Assumption.
X
Yes
to
sir.
Y is minimum and X to Z is also minimum. Yeah.
Yes sir. So sir, if X to Z, first of all, sir, this X to Z has to be greater than this X to Z. The new path we are assuming it has to be greater than this X to Z, sir, the first case, which we have already
you are
discussed.
saying that so X to Z here. Yeah, so let this be the path P. The path from X to Y, the other path, let it be Q. Okay. Now,
Yes sir.
what is the
Sir,
path you are telling?
yes sir. This path Q should be greater than sir this XPZ.
Why?
The first path. Sir, or
Why?
else we will just simply choose this path Q and reach U. But we know that the path to U from S is shortest.
Okay, so this is the first sort of meeting point of the X on this
Yes,
path, right? And this should be the shortest way of reaching. Otherwise, we will the XPZ, right? The weight of XPZ is say strictly greater than, strictly less than or equal to weight of XQZ. Okay.
Yes, sir. And sir, but sir, this of course, like after this also, sir, now we can say that that between distances y to z and this distance z to y, like so we can prove that this is negative now.
Why?
This will form a
How do you
negative
prove?
weighted cycle. So that
How do
I
you
have
prove
to
that? Yeah.
build up upon a little.
Okay.
No,
But you
like
can prove that
so we can
X to
say
Z
like
is less than X to Z.
So we can split this, right? So
Yes, sir.
weight of XPZ
Yes, sir,
is
some splitting only.
XPY plus weight of YPZ, right? So this is
Yes.
basically less than or equal to weight from XQZ.
Then we
Okay.
can add the weights of YQZ to both of them.
So, come again?
We can add the weight of ZQY to both
Okay. Both the things. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So you add weight of ZPY or ZQY?
ZQY.
ZQY.
Path is Q, right? The above.
Yeah, here also weight of ZQY. Okay.
Yes. Now the XPY. No,
Left hand
YPZ
side.
and ZQY. YPZ
Yeah,
and ZQY.
this is nothing but weight of XQY.
Yes.
Right? This is this whole part. These two things is basically equal to weight of XQY. Now weight of XQY, what do we know about weight of XQY? So by assumption, this is less than or equal to weight of XPY. Right?
For this to happen, YPZ plus ZQY must be less than 0.
Yeah, for this to happen, anyway, we are substituting a bigger quantity. This will still be maintained. So for this to happen, there is, you can simply cancel these two things, right? And this sort of implies that weight of YPZ plus weight of ZQY, right, is less than or equal to 0. Right?
And which can't be possible.
Yeah, we are here actually we sort of assume that it is if it is strictly less than 0. Yeah.
Yes.
Here it was strictly less than 0, so it becomes yeah, a strict inequality here. So this is what results. But yeah, YPZ and ZQY that form a cycle here, right? And the weight of that cycle is less than 0, right? So sort of this implies a negative weight cycle. Right? This is a negative weight cycle, right? Which is a contradiction to our assumption that the graph does not contain any negative weight cycle. Right? Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
So does it mean that the shortest path property works for even directed graphs without any negative weight cycles? Okay, so whatever we did with respect to the BFS algorithm, right? Will that yeah, go through?
So what's in the BFS algorithm? It's just a precursor of the Dijkstra's algorithm, right? Like when we have to keep onqueuing the vertices again and again. Like we are not selecting the minimum. So is that the algorithm you're talking about?
Yes, it is that algorithm. So let me even write the algorithm, right? So basically start from source and put it in queue, right? Remove the first vertex from queue and update its neighbors if better value found, right? Queue the updated vertices if already not there in the queue. If it is there in the queue, you won't do anything. Right? So this was the algorithm, right? So you keep on doing it in this manner. If you keep on updating it, once you update it, if it is not already there in the queue, you queue it again, right? If it's already there in the queue, anyway, it is just updated and leave it at that. Okay, this was the algorithm which we are trying to sort of say that it works. So is this fine?
Sir, can you explain again why the shortest path property is withholding? Like,
why the shortest path property is
Still valid.
true in directed graphs without negative weight cycles, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us go through it, slowly, because that is a very important property again, right? So what did we sort of say? Okay, let this be the picture. So consider any shortest path from S to U, right? We are claiming that, so if X and Y are any vertices on this path, the path between X and Y is also shortest, right? So let me in this shortest paths, right? Path property, right? So we are claiming that X to Y is also shortest. Now, how do we sort of prove this? Suppose this is not the case, right? Suppose this is not the case. Suppose there is an X and Y here, and there is a path from X to Y, right, which is shorter than, right? So there is a path from X to Y which we call as Q, right, which is shorter than the path XPY, right? The path that is there in the path P, which we have chosen, which is the shortest path from S to U. Okay, so so we are trying to prove by contradiction. Right, so suppose say XQY, right? So the weight of this is strictly smaller than the weight of XPY, right? So it can be equal. Equal is not a problem, right? But if it is strictly smaller, right? So suppose this is the case, then what we say is we are trying to prove that the strategy is to show a negative weighted cycle, right? How do we show this? Suppose the path is this manner. I think the path can even go like this and come back here and go it. Now then you need to choose the right vertices. You need to choose the last vertex that is intersected here and the last vertex which is intersected after Y, right? And then you can do it, right? So yeah, I am arguing it for this sort of picture. So the other scenarios, I think you guys should go back and try to argue. Okay. So here, so how do we sort of see this? This path is less than this. So you sort of now expand this path. The path Q from X to Y can be something like weight of XQZ plus weight of the path from ZQY, right? So is this fine on the left hand side?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is strictly less than. So let us again XPY, right? The path weight of the path from XPY. Okay. Okay, so now what you do now is to add to both, right? XQZ, right? We have this path XQZ. So we know that XQZ is, we know that weight of XQZ is strictly greater than, not strictly greater than, it is greater than or equal to weight of XPZ, right? So why is this? Suppose this is not true, right? If this was not greater, then if the weight of XQZ was smaller, then you would take the path. If not, which means that weight of XQZ is strictly smaller than weight of XPZ, then basically you get a shorter path from S to U. Basically, what do? You take path from SPX plus XQZ plus ZPU, right? this would be this would give you a shorter path because these two components are same as the earlier path, right? Here you are substituting something that is smaller, and you will get a smaller path from S to U, which is a contradiction to our assumption that this is the path P is a shortest path from S to U, right? So which means that we can always assume this. This is anyway always true. This is true. Okay. Okay. Once that is true, then what we do? So this is instead of XQZ here, we can substitute XPZ, right? Since this is greater than or equal to this, and we are substituting a smaller quantity, this inequality will still hold true, right? So which means that instead of this, I am substituting this, right? So weight of XPZ plus weight of ZQY is strictly less than weight of XPY. Now XPZ you expand it to XPY and YPZ, right? So this is weight of XPY plus weight of YPZ. Basically this gets expanded to these two things plus weight of ZQY is strictly less than weight of XPY. Now there is XPY here and here, you cancel them, right? Now what we get is basically weight of YPZ and weight of XPZ. This is less than or equal, less than this is less than 0, right? So what is YPZ and ZQY, right? YPZ is this, YPZ is this, and ZQY is this. Notice that, right? That is a YPZ plus ZQY. They form a cycle, right? They form a cycle, and we have sort of seen here that the weight of all the edges, the sum of weight of all the edges in the cycle is negative, right? It is negative, which means that this is a negative weighted cycle, which is a contradiction to our assumption that the graph does not have negative weighted cycles. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So yeah, if you have any other doubts, please let me know, right? So you might have, this is just one case. I think you can, the path need not look like this, right? Then you need to exactly select the right, yeah. This is yes, this is U for some X and Y. Here, right? The shortest path can look in peculiar sort of ways, right? It can look like this and come like this, right? Then you need to select the right ones here and sort of prove accordingly, right? So you can always sort of stop it at say these things, right? Going from year to year and from year to year, right? These things, this does not give us a cycle because all are positive, right? So this will not give us a cycle, right? Now you need to take, maybe you can start from here and go till here and then argue about that, and from year to year, and using this, you will again be able to get something like this. Instead of starting from X, you can start from here, right? And sort of see this, right? Either you will be able to argue that this will be a negative cycle, or you will be able to argue that this will be a negative cycle, right? There are these backward cycles here, right? So one of these cycles will be, so this is cycle C1, this is cycle C2. One of these two cycles have to be negative. Okay. Okay, that is how we can argue. So this sort of proves the shortest path property for directed cycles without negative weights, and yeah, that sort of gives you the correctness of the algorithm which we are finding out, right? So is that fine? Yeah. Please.
Sir, if we offer the same proof for instead of directed graph, if we have an undirected graph, the same proof will hold here also, sir, for the shortest path.
It won't work. it won't work.
Yeah, the problem was single edge things, right? So if you consider single edge negative weights as negative cycles, yeah, it will hold true.
Okay.
Okay, that was the problem. So if which would mean that there should be negative weight, there shouldn't be any negative weight edges in the undirected graph, right? So that is what basically it means, right? Okay, good. So is this fine? Now is the correctness of the algorithm fine? Okay, so you can go back and look at the way we proved this. I think that we use the shortest path property. That shortest path property we have proved it for even when there are negative weight edges, but no negative weighted cycles. Okay.
So, but we'll have to prove the termination of the algorithm, because
Yeah,
in the
that
previous.
is also proven. Like I've said that point now, that at least one of them will have the minimum weight defined. That won't enter the queue again. Like the vertex which has the least weight. We can prove that also similarly. Like one of the vertices will stay go.
But then when
Yeah,
more
shortest path
vertices are.
property. See, at each at that time when we are proving that, we had defined something called as levels, right? So from each level, at least one vertex would get their shortest path set correctly, right? So that will always be true, right? In each iteration, the iteration was basically actually we don't even if you take at any instance what the queue is, right? From that queue, there will exist at least one vertex whose weight will be set correctly, right? That is what we had proven, right? That will still be true, right? I think Prajwal had come up with some statement, right? So which sort of which we could prove, right? If I remember correctly, it was we had defined an iteration. Yeah. Yes.
So it also depends on the vertices which are yet to be discovered, right? Because they might have.
Yeah, it does depend. We are not saying that the was closest one or all the vertices will have their weight set. What we are saying is, in each iteration there will be at least one vertex which will have its distance correctly set. That's all. There will be one vertex. For Dijkstra's, we proved something extra. When the weights were positive, we proved something extra, saying that vertex is basically that particular vertex which is closest to the source. We could pinpoint that vertex. Here we are not pinpointing that vertex. That's why we need to keep on doing it. We don't even know which vertex that would be, right? Out of all the candidates, there could be many vertex that any of those vertices can get its distance set. And the distance need not be the minimum from the source, right? It can be much larger, right? But it will get its distance set correctly.
So all vertices with whose shortest path will have I edges will be set, like in the ith iteration.
Maybe it can happen, right? So again, see how did we prove that? We again took the shortest UV path and said that all these vertices would have their distance set correctly in the previous iterations, right? So that is what we used. Okay. So this shortest path property is something which is very nice, right? So yeah, just before we stop, I think, so when is your next class? 10:45 or 10:30?
10:30, sir.
10:30. Oh, okay. So yeah, before this is one algorithm which we can use when there are negative weights. So in books, you will also find another algorithm called as Bellman-Ford algorithm, right? You can also use that actually. Okay. Again, it works with the same property, right? Instead of putting it in the queue, you simply make it even more easier by sort of updating every edge in every iteration. Okay. So you can look into that. If I have enough time, I will go through that. Otherwise, I will leave it at that, because we have seen every ingredient that is necessary to sort of prove it and to come up with that algorithm, right? So yeah, I will leave that as an exercise for you guys. Okay, Bellman-Ford algorithm. It is nothing but exactly what we are doing it here, but we don't want to maintain the queue and we simply do it. every edge all the time, right? So yeah, and again it is an order of mn algorithm. So is that fine? Okay. Okay, so I will stop here. So again, if you have any doubts, you guys come up with it tomorrow and we will again discuss. Yeah, from tomorrow we might look at a different problem, right? So we will look at maybe minimum spanning trees and things like that. Okay. Okay, guys. We'll stop recording.
Sir,